a weakening question that I have for you. So please pause the video, solve the question, take your time, and come back for the explanation of the same. So I'm sure you're done with it. So let us see. Now the question statement tells me which of the following, if true, casts the most serious doubt on the connection between pressure group activity and corporate change claimed above. So once when I have read the question, I very well know I'm looking for a weakener, and this I have to weaken this connection. This I have to put under a question mark, the connection between PG and corporate change. So for me, I need to now deconstruct the para, read the para well. So let us read. So once when I deconstruct, the first sentence tells me that recently political pressure groups have become far more effective at persuading industrial corporations to change. So when I read it, the tonality of the author is finding this political pressure group playing a very positive role, far more effective at persuading industrial corporations to change. So there is a relationship between PG and change. How does the author tell this? Why? What is the basis? The premise says, for example, as a result of the effort of the animal rights groups. So some animal rights are a representative of the pressure group. Many pharmaceutical and cosmetic companies have reduced the use of laboratory animals. So reduction of the use of lab animals, and they are bringing in alternative methods of product testing. Great. So this example is being used to tell that pressure groups are very effective. Now my question says, boss, you need to cast doubt on the connection. So how do I cast doubt? That means I need a weakener. Now, when I am looking at a weakener, two ways how I can weaken. So what is my basic aim of doing this? The shadow answer, the aim. I want to reject the effectiveness of pressure groups. That's a very simple aim. So this part is my aim of the correct answer, what I really want to achieve. So how do I do it? There are two ways of doing it. One, I would either give a different reason why these corporates are changing. Now here under corporates, who is it? The animal, the pharmaceutical companies. So this whole lab animal change that they have done, why is this change happening? I can give an alternate reason. Or I can say, boss, give me a reason which is showing that how pressure groups are ineffective, some negative about them, that really they are not impacting. So these are two ways how we can do it. So GMAT will love to test you, give you these kind of two thought process. So let us go ahead and analyze the options. So when I look at the options, the first option, so I have to keep in mind my aim. So what is my aim that I need to keep in mind? The aim is that pressure groups definitely have no role in the corporate change. This is what I need to do. This is my basic aim. Many companies in the pharmaceutical industry, okay, they have increased their public relations spending in order to counter the activity of animal rights groups. When I read this option, it definitely shows some relationship between the corporates and the pressure groups. There is some kind of a relationship. Otherwise, why will they increase their public spending? So the bond between them is not being taken off the shelf. There is a reason. There is a bond. This is showing me some role of the pressure groups. So this option does not oppose what the writer is saying. The effectiveness part. Before the new methods of testing products are used, okay, prior to this, they have to be calibrated by comparison tests involving experiments on laboratory animals. Now this option looks very attractive. Why? Because this option tells me that lab animals are being used. But if you notice carefully, this is telling me before the new methods of testing are used. So prior to using the new methods, which are the new methods? New methods can be the eco-friendly methods, the methods which are not harming the animal world. But before you do that, I need to calibrate using laboratory animals. But this option, does it show you any connection between your company and pressure groups? Does it put a question mark that the corporate change and pressure group, does this really talk about that? No, it just talks about I need to use animals before, but I don't know the reason behind, why new methods have been introduced. That part is not very clear. So I cannot discount that pressure groups played a role or not. That aspect has not been highlighted in option B. Next, when companies stop using laboratory animals, they generally go to some expense to publicize this change of policy. So why would they publicize? Why? Because they want people to know, right? They want everyone to know. So somewhere down the line, there might be a pressure. So when they stop, when they are taking a particular eco-friendly action, the publishing can happen because of some kind of external pressure, because they want to tell people don't. So there can be some relationship between the corporates and my pressure group. The pharmaceutical manufacturers who still use laboratory animals are mostly the smaller firms. Okay, great. That have been less subject to pressure group. Now, this option very clearly tells me that smaller firm, pressure group activity not there. And these people, they are continuing to use laboratory animals. They are using no pressure group. I am using laboratory. So what does this imply? This implies the relationship between pressure group and corporate change, right? If no pressure group, then no change. If pressure group, then there is a change. So this option is a direct strengthener, right? So this does not work. Last option, the methods of product testing. Great, I'm talking about the new methods have come in that do not involve laboratory animals. So this is telling me, oh, there is that change in a method, are faster and cheaper than the methods that do, than the methods that have animals. So this part definitely is a new reason. I'm introducing a new rationale, which tells me that pressure group activity definitely is not a reason for the corporate change. This is the new rationale. Now, 100%, look at it. There is no 100% rejection, but there is a question mark. So I am bringing a new alternate valid reason. Because of this new, there is a question mark on the role of PG. I cannot say they have become effective, right? The effectiveness is being put under question. So based on that, option E becomes my correct answer. So I hope you learned something from this weakening question. So you can definitely try more weakeners, keeping this thought in mind.